And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas Kelly, and this is Hangouts Before You Woo Life. Hangouts Before You Woo Life is an online web show geared towards new students transitioning to Worcester State University. As always, if you miss an episode, you can follow along on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WSUResLife. We have a whole playlist of all of our Hangouts. We are super pumped to be joined again by Julie Carmel, Director of Student Accounts. You may be familiar with Julie because she was on like our third episode. Julie, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Back. Yeah.
Happy to be back. Good, perfect. That's what the script says. No. So can you remind everyone at home a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the Bursar's office here at Worcester State?
Sure, no problem. The Student Accounts Office at Worcester State handles all aspects of your student financial account. So preparing the bills, collecting the payments, processing refunds. We also work very closely with the financial aid department, the registrar's office, the retention department. Every aspect that could affect you financially, we're involved in.
Wow. So everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Great. So as always, we have questions. So I guess we should start with our questions. Okay. So with bills out, most of our students would have received or seen their bill, may have not seen a bill like this before. Can you kind of explain like what the bill is, kind of how to read it?
Sure. Yeah, if the student has been registered through our academic success department, then they should have received a bill approximately a week and a half ago. The bill layout is pretty much tuition and fees show up first. Your room charge, if you have a room assignment already, your room charge is out there. The meal plan that you chose would be on there. Then it should total all of your charges and credits. Pending financial aid would be on after that. So if you have financial aid and you've done all of your promissory notes and everything, that should be deducted from the total charges. So in the end, it would have total amount due, and that's the balance due.
All right.
Another thing we do with the bill is we put handy dandy inserts, and I'll do a little show and tell.
Perfect.
The pink sheet is your important billing information. Everything that you need to know about your bill is on this sheet. You can refer to that at any time. It's also online on our webpage. The FERPA form is very important. This is the form you're going to need if you want your parents to be able to talk to our office about your account. You would just list anybody that you would like to have access and get that back to us. You can fax it to us. You can email it to us. And then when your parent calls, we'll be able to give them details about your account. Without that, we can't give any real details. We can give generalizations, but get that into us. Your parents will appreciate it if they're helping you out with the bill. Another important thing is the health insurance. If you are covered by other health insurance, make sure to go on and waive your insurance. There's, in the important billing information, there's the webpage that you need to go to, www.universityhealthplans.com. Don't forget the S.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. Inserts, super important. Yeah. Also, if you do have a parent or guardian, again, that FERPA waiver is super important so that the folks who are supporting you are able to talk to the fine folks at our institution. If not, like Julie kind of mentioned, I think everyone gives very much general information as it would apply to all students. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Yep. All right. So if the student has a balance after their financial aid has been deducted, what options do they have?
Sure. There's always the option to pay the balance in full. We accept personal checks. We accept credit cards. The credit cards, it's really nice. You can go online and make that payment 24/7. So if you decide at midnight you just want to pay your bill, you can go ahead and do that. No problem. We'll accept it. There is a payment plan. It's on the important billing information sheet. We do that through Nelnet. It's a third-party payment plan. You set it all up with them. They'll notify us how much you've budgeted for. We'll deduct that off the bill. The other things are, there are Parent Plus loans, like if you do have a parent helping you, they can go on through the financial aid website, apply for the Parent Plus loan. There are also other alternative loans, some requiring a cosigner, some you can get on your own. Those, you're better off doing like a Google search for private student loans and finding the best deal that's out there, because there's a lot of them out there.
Great. And we were with financial aid last week, so if you want to learn a little bit more about those alternative loans, we talked a little bit about that last week too. So check that out. That's on our YouTube channel, and we talked about that earlier. And you're watching our YouTube channel, so there you go. So what happens if there's a balance due after the due date of August the 3rd?
Okay, the due date is very important to make sure that all the financial aid's in place, all the payments are on. We do allow a couple of days for mailing because we know that people are going to put it in the mail on the 3rd. But on around August 9th, we're going to send out an email to anybody that has a large balance due still. And that email is going to let them know that a non-payment hold is being placed on their account. The non-payment hold will affect your ability if you need to make changes, like if a class gets canceled and you need to register for a class. That non-payment hold is going to prevent you from being able to do anything until the balance is clear. So it's very, very important. Due dates are important. Make sure it's out there. If the financial aid or the payment gets updated after that, we remove the non-payment hold immediately so that access, will be reinstated. But again, look for emails. If you know that may still be unpaid, that email will tell you whether or not you're in jeopardy of having that non-payment hold on. After that, we will send an overdue notice home, so a paper bill home. Same thing, it will just show what the balance due is and the warning that there would be a payment hold on the account.
And that you said that goes to home, so that goes to the mailing address for the student.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say, though, don't wait for a paper bill to go home. Always Web Advisor, 24/7 again. You can check your balance, you can check your pending financial aid, you can see your status at a moment's notice. Better to do it that way than to wait for the paper mail, because we know, that could take longer.
Absolutely. And if you went to orientation, that second day orientation leader showed you how to navigate that Web Advisor and how to find all that billing information on there. So that's your protocol.
Very good.
And actually, that's what we're going to talk about next. So if a student makes changes to their account, will they receive a paper bill, or what are some ways that they can view their statement?
Yeah, the paper bills don't go out every time a student makes a change. So let's say they change their meal plan, they change their room, they may make a schedule change. Always go on to Web Advisor to see if that affected your bill. Evening classes will affect the statement. Any kind of change like that should be checked through Web Advisor so you can determine how much is this going to impact me if I make this change.
Yeah. From the room standpoint, if you change buildings, the room rate may be different. If you change your meal plans, the meal plan rate may be different. So going and visiting your Web Advisor, seeing the most up-to-date bill, you have access to that all the time. So definitely utilize that. So when is the final billing notice sent out to students who still have balances but have not communicated with student accounts to kind of develop a plan?
Okay. It's going to be around September 13th. So usually during the add drop period, students are making changes, going in and out of classes. What I like to say is make sure by the end of add drop that your balance is zero, everything's good. Other than that, you may wind up with, issues with housing or issues with registration. Again, like I said, those holds, the notices that we send out will, be increasingly demanding on, getting that payment in, because we don't want your smooth transition to campus to be affected.
Yeah, and for sure, those holds may impact certain things, whether it's registration for classes, eligibility for residency, things like that. Yeah. So it's super important to reach out and to develop a plan with student accounts. There's many different ways. We just kind of talked about all of them on how to be able to kind of close that gap on the bill. So reach out to the fine folks.
Reach out, don't be afraid. A lot of times we hear from students that they're just overwhelmed with the process, so they kind of put it to the side and don't want to deal with it. Yeah. The best way to do it, deal with it. More than willing to come up with a plan, come up with some options. We're much happier seeing you, talking to you, than finding out later that, you just didn't want to deal with it because it was too overwhelming. Yeah. Don't let this stuff overwhelm you. Once you do it once, the next time will be much easier, and on and on and on.
Repetition.
For the next 4 years.
Just gets easier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are all of our questions for today. As always, I always want to close with like what's that one important thing you want to make sure students know about this point? So Julie, for where students are at, they just got their statements. What's the really important thing you want to make sure that they know?
Just to read everything that you receive, watch the dates, watch the deadlines, pay attention. If you get any communication with us, don't assume it's a mistake. Don't assume that, it doesn't apply to you. If you get something from us, contact us.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And again, this has been great. We'll be back next week for another Hangouts Before You Move Life. We'll be doing some residence hall tours, so that'll be exciting. As always, if you miss a Hangout, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WSUResLife. We've got a playlist of all of these. You can follow us on social media at WSUResLife on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. You can like us on facebook.com/WooLife. As always, I'm Thomas Kelly, Associate Director of Residence Life here at Worcester State, and we're signing off. Happy Wednesday.